Hello everyone, and welcome to another Tapple how-to video. One effective way to publish a QR code is by pinning a QR poster in a visible location in the physical world. This allows people to easily scan the code with their smartphones, providing instant access to digital content or information. Placing the poster in high traffic areas ensures that more individuals can discover and engage with the content you're sharing. In our last video, we created a QR code that links to a cottonsouthie.com article about puppy yoga. For today's video, I'm going to create a poster using that Tapple experience and QR code. Before we begin, let's look at the website article. Notice the branding colors and style. When creating a QR poster, you can customize the colors, fonts, and other design elements to match the brand. I'll now switch tabs to the Tapple dashboard. Remember from our last video, I mentioned that as you are learning the Tapple platform, to think of a Tapple broadcast as the QR code, and the Tapple experience as your content. And in this case, this is the puppy yoga article. I'll now click on the Cotton Southie experience. Here we can see some general information about the experience and the broadcast QR code. And if you notice something doesn't look exactly right, you're correct. The eye color is this blue, but if we look back at the Cotton Southie website, we can see they use a primary color of green. So this QR code doesn't match the brand. So let's fix that now. Remember that you can think of the QR code as a Tapple broadcast. So I'll click on the broadcast tab in the experience, and I'll edit the broadcast and click on the QR designer. Here, I can click on the eye color, and I could do one of two things. I can eyeball it, kind of switch over to this green and select a green that I think would match. But I can also be exact using a hex code. And if you know the exact hex code, you can type it in here, which I'll do. There are also other color formats that are supported here. If I click this little up arrow or down arrow, it will cycle through HSLA, RGBA, and back to hex. If you don't know what these are, that's totally fine. Anyone that does any kind of design work will be very familiar with this. But again, you can just eyeball the color that you think looks best. So I'll click out of this. We could see the QR code eye color has been updated. Great. The QR code matches nicely. It's now time to create the QR code poster. So I'll close out of this and I'll look back at the main menu and click on the QR posters menu item. Next, I'll click Create QR Poster. And the first thing I'm going to do is enter in a poster name for my internal reference. I've entered Cotton Southie, this week's feature article, for the poster name. And you may be wondering why these eye colors are now reflecting the green that we had updated. Well, that's because we haven't assigned the broadcast to the poster yet. So I'll click Assign Broadcast, and in the drop-down, I can see there's my Cotton Southie experience and broadcast. Click on that, and done. And now we can see the QR code for the Cotton Southie experience broadcast has been embedded into the QR poster. I can increase the size of the QR code. That looks pretty good. Now I'll click on the container section. You can see there's a primary color here. I won't touch that right now because I want to show you something else first, but this defines some of the styling for the container, including the poster border. But I'm going to quickly head into the logo section. I'm now going to upload a logo image for this poster. Click Browse. Search a local file on my computer. Pick this Cotton Southie PNG file. And I'm going to crop it. Clean it up a bit here with some cropping. Let's make it nice and tight there. Click Crop. Click Upload. Because of the variation in overall image dimensions and sizes, you may need to adjust this to be a little bit larger or smaller. So I can increase this a bit here. And you also notice that it's actually picked out a few colors from that image. And so this is why I didn't edit the primary color over here and said I'd skip over that, because in the logo section, from just uploading the logo, I can actually pick the color to be primary directly here. So I'll click on this green, and now you can see the colors have been updated, including the border and the heading text. You don't have to use this, but it's a nice little feature. Now, you'll notice there's something that just looks a little bit off here. There isn't enough gap at the top between the logo and the border. So to fix that, I'm going to go back to the container, and you can see here's the padding. So the inside elements compared to the overall border of the poster. T stands for top and bottom. L, R, left and right. So I'm going to increase the top and bottom a bit. You could see that brings it down. So I think that looks pretty good. Next, let's edit the text. I could specify the font size, the color of that text, and whether it's bold or not. I'll use this week's feature article, and I happen to know the font that Cotton Southie uses, which I actually can't pronounce, but I'll type it in here. And Tapple has over 1,000 fonts that are available for you to use. And this looks pretty good. Might make it just 2 points smaller. I think that looks best. I'll leave it like that. And let's go to the subheading text. I'm just going to give some instructions in the subheading text section, what they'll get if they scan this. Now, you'll see you have to play around with some of the settings here. You can see that the QR code has dropped a bit. You can make all the adjustments to make it fit. And there's multiple ways to do this. You can, go back to the broadcast QR, and I can say, let's make the QR code a little bit smaller, right, to fit it in. But I'm going to leave it back where it was. Let's try a different thing. This text looks not so great. I'm going to remove the bolding. I'm going to make the text a little bit smaller. Encourage them why this is a quick thing. You're not asking them to sit at your poster, scan the QR code, and indulge in an article. Anyone can just scan the QR code and they can go. So kind of this idea of scanning and going. They can read it at any time from their smartphone. So I'll save first. So now I can download or print the the QR poster we just created. If I click this, we can see it's connected to the Cotton Southie broadcast for the QR code, and everything looks great. And when I click print, the QR poster fits really nicely on standard size letter paper. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please visit tapl.io to get started.